Okay, we're just going now. Enjoy the stories, everyone. Okay, welcome everyone to Stories for Hope, Healing, and Belonging. We're going to start off right away. We're going to do 3 stories today. And I'm just going to share my screen so you can all see the pictures, and hopefully you can also hear, because I heard that we're having some technical difficulties in our Bowmanville program. So good luck, Bowmanville. We hope you can get this sorted out quickly. And we'll start off with Homemade Love by Bell Hooks, read by Dawn. Thank you.
Yeah, Homemade Love. My mama calls me girl pie. Her sweet, sweet. Daddy's honey bun chocolate dewdrop. Homemade love. All good, good. But everything I do cannot be right, because all there is, no, all the time, right. But all the time, any hurt can be healed, all wrongs forgiven, and all the world made peace again. Sorry, I have to keep moving my little thing so I can see the words.
It's definitely an added challenge on Zoom.
Kiss, kiss. Let life go on. And all the girl pies sleep tenderly. Lost in deep dreams, nighttime surrender, closed door, sleep alone time. Memories of arms that hold me. Holding me still. No need to fear the dark place, because everywhere is home.
Thank you. Beautiful story. Next, we're reading Don't Touch My Hair by Cherie Miller. Don't touch my hair. I'm Aria, and this is my hair. I love my hair. It's soft and bouncy and grows up toward the sun like a flower. I love it up or down, styled or wild. I don't care. I just want it to be free. Actually, everyone loves my hair too. When I walk down the street, I hear so many compliments. It's so big. How do you get it so fluffy? I wish I had hair like that. It's great that people love my hair, but some love it so much that they want to touch it. I don't like this. What does it feel like? They are so curious about my hair that they try to touch it without even asking for permission. Oh, I want to feel. Me too. I get very good at avoiding hands. I have to start looking for ways to hide my hair. I try blending in with the scenery, but I'm quickly spotted. Over here! I try hiding underwater, but that doesn't last long. Oh wow, I love your hair. Can I touch it? I escape to the jungle, but the critters just can't keep their hands to themselves. Let me touch. Me first, no me. Even in the tallest castle tower, someone is always there, ready and waiting to touch my hair. Girl, your hair is fierce. My dog wants to hear the story too. No matter how far I go, it doesn't seem to matter. How did you get it so big? Finally, I find a place where no one wants to touch my hair. But after a few hours, I get lonely. I decide to go home. I try my best to ignore the attention, but as a hand sinks into my hair, wow, it looks so soft. Oh, it is so soft. I decide I can't take it anymore. That's it. That's enough. Don't touch my hair. This is my hair. It's great that you love it. I love it too. But please just look and don't touch without my permission. The next time someone wants to touch my hair, they ask, "Can I touch your hair?" I reply, "Not today." Okay. Now it feels great to walk down the street without anyone trying to touch my hair. My curls are free to reach for the sun, just like a flower. Some people still ask to touch my hair, but if I say no, they listen. How are you today? Hello. But sometimes, if you ask nicely, sometimes I say yes. This is the author's note. I started this book a few years ago based on my own experiences. Though monkeys, mermaids, dragons, and aliens have never tried to touch my hair, other human beings have. Many people often feel uncomfortable or disrespected when others touch their hair without permission. Though Arya struggles specifically with people touching her hair in this book, this is also a story about personal boundaries and what I would like to be used as a tool to teach the importance of asking for permission first. I hope that after reading Don't Touch My Hair, children can learn the importance of asking for permission and not being afraid to say no, and not being afraid to hear no too. When creating the art, I use bright colors to match the humor of the text. I used colored pencil for Arya's hair so it would have texture and stand out from the rest of the art in the book. Okay, and one more story. Where did it go? Can you see my screen?
Oh, now yes.
Okay, I think that worked, right? I'll pass it over to you, Mel.
Okay, this is Max and the Tagalong Moon, and the author is Floyd Cooper. Grandfather, grandson, and the moon above them both. One night, as Max was leaving Grandpa's house, He reached up to give Grandpa a big goodbye hug. In the sky behind Grandpa appeared a big, fine moon. Look, Grandpa, the moon. Well, that old moon will always shine for you, on and on. Grandpa and Max gazed quietly at the big moon together as it embraced them in a soft yellow light. Max smiled at the moon and Grandpa, then climbed into the car. Bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye, moon. As the car pulled away, Max kept his eyes on Grandpa until he disappeared from sight, and all he saw was the moon. Max kept his eyes on that moon, waiting for it to disappear too. The long ride home was swervy-curvy, this way and that, all the way, and the moon seemed to tag along. Max giggled as he watched the beautiful bright orb flicker through. Sorry, I can't see the last few words.
Seems cut off. I think it says flicker through the passing trees trailing behind the car.
Okay, thank you. Up a hill, down a hill, the moon was ever there. Over a bridge, around a curve, the moon bounced along. Around a tree, past a field of sleeping cows, the moon stayed quietly with Max. Through a small town with roundabout streets, Max gazed as the moon kept up. At the mouth of a tunnel and out the other end, Max smiled when he saw the moon there, waiting. Dark clouds tumbled across the night sky. The stars and the nightingales all faded away. Max searched the darkness and wondered, where is the moon? Grandpa said it would always shine for me. Finally home, Max took one last look up at the empty night sky. I guess that old moon couldn't shine for me all the way home. Upstairs in bed, the room was dark. Max felt alone. He missed Grandpa. He missed that Tagalong moon. Then slowly, very slowly, Max's bedroom began to fill with a soft yellow glow. The clouds faded away and the moon peeked through. Max gazed up at the magic ball of light and thought about what Grandpa said. That old moon will always shine for me, on and on. Max knew that whenever he saw the moon, he would think of Grandpa, on, and he slept soundly, embraced in a soft yellow light.
Okay, and that's the end of our stories. Thank you to all the story readers. I'm getting a funny feedback on my voice. I don't know if you're hearing that too.
No.
Okay, it's just me.
I really enjoyed Max and Tagalong. I loved all of the stories, but the illustrations in this last book, they just fill the page. And it's with the yellow moon, it just gives a soft warmth and very, very beautiful.
Yeah, it felt to me like a hug from the moon. That's how the pictures were making me feel. That warmth.
Yeah. What a lovely way to go to sleep. Listening, thinking of your grandpa and the fond memories and that, that connection with the moon.
Mm-hmm. And it really does have this resonance with the first story as well, that warmth of being hugged and being held.
Yes.
Themes.
I loved the homemade love. I loved the little girl's dress. It was so beautiful. I mean, the colors were so vibrant. But if you noticed, her dress seemed to reflect the story. The patterns on her dress changed. It was very lovely. When her dad was lifting her up in the sky and there was airplanes and clouds patterns on her dress. It was very beautiful, very bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah, gorgeous story. Anyone else have any reflections from Homemade Love, Don't Touch My Hair, or Max and the Tagalong Moon? I know we've read Don't Touch My Hair once before, but it's probably new to some people who are tuning in. I really love that book because I think it's a really good illustration of, a real life experience. Somebody's written this book as kind of out of necessity to say to people, remind everyone that we have to ask permission before we touch somebody. I think that's a really good way to do it through a story like that, and to also think about, how we can use children's literature to share experiences and get people to think outside of their own experience of the world and think about what it might be like for someone else.
It reminds me what I'm learning about microaggressions. Like when she finally had enough and said, okay, this is it, stop touching my hair. And if we didn't know her story of all the times that she's just tried to avoid it, and then there's this point where her frustration explodes, it helps. It reminds me of what I've been learning about this idea of the microaggressions, like these little mosquitoes that keep biting one person, that happen all day long, that we or I wouldn't always think about, the things that are always can be barriers or things that come up against people of color, Black and Indigenous people. Like it's helping me to see some of those things that happen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had given that book, I had said, to my niece's little one, and she carries it around with her always. And when she was in childcare, she brings it into them, and they've read it quite a lot, and it's brought up a lot of some thought and some discussion around it. And she's loves her little book. She's 3.5, and that's been an issue for her. People always reaching out to touch her hair, and it's been very empowering for her mom. It's kind of given voice to her mom to speak on her behalf, and it's brought a lot of discussion in our family about these. But people, there are these microaggressions, but people just not really just thinking, oh, there's beautiful hair, I'll just go and touch it, and feeling because there's a relationship, because we're related to her, that automatically gives permission to. So the book has been very informative and a really teaching tool for our family. It's been great.
I think that's also a really interesting story, like the fact that a 3-year-old has identified the need to have a tool in order to help to share the experience, like the microaggressions that the 3.5-year-old has already experienced in life. Like that really does explain why a book like this is needed, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way the last story also portrays this warmth about the darkness. and that this event that could be sad to leave your grandpa or to be out in the night, but that it just, like you've already mentioned, this warmth of this loving place. And I mean, I'm drawn to it because I love looking at the moon, the full moon. So many of us are, and I think it's this great way of thinking about how many people in the world are drawn to the moon, and how it lights up the night, and the night doesn't have to be a scary, dark place.
I think it also draws attention to relationships, right? The relationality that, like, I think there's that warmth that comes from the grandfather, and in the first book as well, the family warmth, but also how we can experience relationships with the more than human world as well, that the moon can bring a sense of comfort as you develop a relationship with the moon. That's also, you don't have to feel alone when you're near the moon, which is at all times. I mean, even during the day, the moon is out there somewhere, right? Even though we can't quite see it. So I think that's also a really interesting theme that this book brings, is that relationality to, yeah, the more than human world.
Yeah.
Another reason I love that story.
Going back to the homemade love, that little story, it seems it's such a small little book, but I think it's beautiful, a little powerhouse, and the fact that the family, and that I think the family in this book really are role models for families, and just knowing that, you know, when not everything goes right, we do things that are wrong, but nevertheless, there's forgiveness and love there. And I think that is beautiful to show. And what a lovely way then to fall asleep, you know, again, knowing that there's love and there's a connection with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And bell hooks, like, this is such a nice way to introduce children to bell hooks. I mean, there's so much more you can read by Bell. And yeah, it's so nice to introduce children to such incredible authors at such a young age. I love it when authors do that, to expose children to their work from such a young age, because now as children grow up and are familiar with this work, they can start to, as they get older, go into some of the other work, which I think is just some of the most incredible literature that's ever been written, in my opinion. So yeah, I love that you get to read bell hooks with children. What a wonderful thing to do. So yeah, for any educators who are tuning in who haven't already, check out Bell Hooks. There's great writing on education and transformative, like using love really to operate through the world, and beautiful, beautiful messages about transformative education approaches. This is the last meeting before the end of Black History Month. That's right. Do educators want to suggest some other themes that we can group books around? Yeah, good question, Yvonne. Any themes that are coming up in your practice for the educators who are here that you'd like us to be thinking about? We have a few books that we have kind of in the roster, but we're absolutely ready to shift. International Women's Day. Yeah, that would be a good theme for our next series in 2 weeks. It will be falling around. It might be a little bit after, but it will be right around International Women's Day. Good idea, Yvonne. Yeah, Diane likes that idea too. We'll see what we can find in our collections. Well, if anyone has any last thoughts, please feel free to chime in. Otherwise, maybe we'll just leave it there for today. Thanks very much. It's so nice to have seen the children at the beginning. It's really great to know that there is an audience out there. Great to see everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good rest of your day.